So we're going to do 2 decks because it looks like this past few days, 1 deck is not enough. Now it's the point of which deck do we start from? How about this one? Conflict. 2 cards. Regarding major choices and friends. I guess you have to pick and choose between friends, don't you? Well, your optimism is abused. How do I explain this? Well, you're being optimistic and the people around you are saying, well, you're just dreaming, aren't you? You're so full of delusions and illusions. Your head is in the clouds. That's not reality. I guess those friends you need to get rid of. There's judgment coming from someone from your hometown, right? Someone from where you're from. So that's where your friends are from that you have to get rid of. You're impatient when it comes to sense of belonging. So you need to belong somewhere, right? You have to feel like you belong somewhere, but you're impatient about it. Well, aren't we all? How do you think we all got here? We're all impatient. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be understood. And about 99.9% of us isn't. Be patient. There will be a gathering. That has to do with some financial disaster. Wonder what it is. It has to do with law. So I'm guessing for some of you it could be like a court case that has to do with finances, or maybe like a gathering in the family or somewhere where like you lended someone money, they didn't pay you back in time, or not planning at all. It feels like you have to let that money go. It's unfortunate. And let go of the past and that person with it. So it's like this thing is lost. You just have to let it go. Right. When you let it go, that will stimulate this like vulnerability sense inside of you. So you become more vulnerable to things. And because you become more vulnerable, there's a certain amount and a form of gifts, right? And by gifts I mean things that you've never done before, the ways that you've never behaved before. Those gifts are going to unpack themselves, unfold. It's like going to be this gift, like it's going to be new you. So the situation where you lost this battle with finances is going to put you in this vulnerable state where it's going to create this new you. Like, it's fun. Rebirth. You have new beginnings regarding change regarding abuse, some kind of abuse, divorce. Are you being abused in your relationship, Tickly Buns? You gotta get out of it. Okay, so let me explain to you why you have to get out of the relationship that you're abused in. So, spiritually speaking, right? We're one with the source, right? So let's say if, like Jesus said, I am one with the Father. What did he mean, right? He meant that I and the Father are one, right? That's what he said. So if you are the extension of the source, right? If you're an extension of the source, then you are the source. So if you allow someone, and if the source is God, right? That's what we call it. You are an extension of God, right? You're made in the image of God. However you want to fucking put it. Then when you allow someone to treat you badly, then think you're allowing God that you cherish so much above yourself even to treat badly, right? So if you allow someone to disrespect you, you're also at the same time allowing that someone through you to disrespect God, right? Another example, let's say you're the son of the God. Fine, we'll get to the point where you're the son. Further readings when we get to that point. But let's say God is the sun and you are the sun rays, right? So whatever happens to the sun rays, the extension of the light, right, brings back the information to the source, which is the sun. So you have to, it's actually fun when you believe in something, because then it helps you respect yourself sooner than later, because you attach yourself to something higher, and then disrespecting that higher through you is a bad thing. So you stop that self-abuse that you're going through. Okay, we got lost. But we got to the point. You're lacking balance. Like you can't come to make a decision regarding this heartbreaking relationship that you have. And this has to do with direct family, which is not your husband. This is like a bloodline, right? So this is mother, father, sister, brother, something like that, right? What is this heartbreak? 2 cards again. So it looks like your family has been trying to tell you to not dream, right? To get rid of your dreams, to shed your ideas of the future that you've created for yourself. That's heartbreaking for you. Sometimes the comments can be nasty. insensitive, sarcastic, feels like abuse. And they're actually delaying you because you're unable to stand your ground. So when those verbal and emotional attacks, judgments are coming towards you, you're unable. It just sort of shakes you off your axis, and you're not able, you're incapable of moving forward, because there's in the back of your head. So your subconscious kicks in, right? Whatever it's been trained to do since you were little, your subconscious kicks in like energetically, forcefully, and then starts destroying and eliminating your hopes. So any insensitive approach from outside affects you because you're so sensitive to things. See, like you're one of those people who I would suggest to never read a preface of the book, right? You have to understand it. I'm also like this, right? We learn by example, right? It's good to have an example of a real person, right? I never read a preface of the book because I'm afraid that they would put a certain concept in my head of someone else having about that book. And then I would read that book as that person thought about it, right? So so I don't ever do that. So I also don't listen to, when someone gives me advice, without me asking them, I stop them because I know that advice can infiltrate the space that I've built inside, right, to move forward and destroy it. So I suggest to you, if someone gives you advice that is uncalled for, stop them. It's okay to stop them because you're doing it for yourself. You're doing so that that thing does not interfere with you. And it doesn't mean that you're not strong. It just means that you're empathetic, overly empathetic, an extremely sensitive soul. So you are connecting to other people's vibrations all the time. I also suggest that maybe if you're that person, if you relate to this, don't mingle too much with people. Stay away. Maybe go out once a month, interact so that you're not completely turned into a hermit and isolate yourself and go nuts. But stay away from people so that you don't pick up their frequencies. It seems like you're picking up their frequencies and you're easily swayed. It's not a bad thing. You're just very sensitive. These people are telling you that you're lacking structure, you're illogical, and you have to constantly stand up for your beliefs, right? So what you believe in, and you're trying to escape the ruin, the problems, right? The hardship that it causes you to move forward. It has to do, all of this sensitivity that you're experiencing, it's also childhood programming. That's the word, right? It's a childhood programming. So you grew up in this society where you maybe had to nod on things where you wanted to say no to, right? Or you had to agree when you wanted to disagree. Overly, like instilling respect, being respectful is good, but like overly respectful sometimes, overly anything is too much. So overly respectful sometimes is stupidity. You know, it's overly respectful person. What they actually do is they're diminishing themselves so that they can elevate someone else. Don't do that. Also, stop being critical of yourself. Okay, crazy thing right now. You're so critical of yourself that you actually talk about yourself negatively to people, and that starts the gossip. So you are, at some point in your life, the reason why the gossip starts in your life, right? So maybe someone else gossips, but you're starting it. So how to say it? So we're friends, right? And I came to you and I said, oh my God, I don't know, I can't do that, and I always make mistakes in this, and I'm so clumsy, and I screwed up this, and that one told me this, and I tolerate that, blah, 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 blah. And then you went and you told that person, she did this, she did that, she did this, and then it goes. So that's negative gossip. Started. And you must know that information traveling farther and farther deteriorates the farther it goes. So whatever you said to that person, by the time it gets to another person, it changed the structure. So it got exaggerated. And by the time it gets back to you, you're shocked how you're painted and what's said about you. Stop telling people about your shit. It's none of their fucking business. Stop judging yourself. So your lesson right now is to overcome that hardship that you experience by being positive towards yourself, right? Thinking positively about yourself. Presenting yourself in a good manner to others, right? Don't judging yourself. Like, let's say someone made a mistake. You're like, oh, I did that too. Don't fucking say that. Did you really? And if you did, like, would it help that person if you said that? It's different. If you're going to help that person by bringing up the same example of falling, if they fell, you falling, then go ahead and do it. But if you're just fucking saying it for the fuck of it, or to make yourself feel comfortable, to bring yourself down to their level, don't do that. You have to understand, we all need someone to look up to. Wouldn't you rather be someone to look up to than someone to look down to? Think. If I look up to someone, I follow them up. If I look down to someone, then I think it's okay to be this low. Which one would you want to be? Fear and anxiety. So, the good news is it? But it is actually. Good news is, there's no one manipulating you. It's you manipulating yourself. It's you. You need to change the way you treat yourself. Stop bickering with yourself. Stop judging yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop it. Stop.